Hey guys, we're working on the old 12 valve today, 94 Ram, old 12 valve Cummins. I'm going to be doing some work on the turbo and the exhaust today, trying to free up some flow so I can make a few more ponies. I'll go ahead and go over this. I did do a few things before I started making videos, so I'll kind of go over that first because I'm sure everybody's going to have questions what's all done to the truck and stuff. So it's mostly stock. A lot of it is. I do have some, I picked up some 90 horse injectors. I actually had them in the shelf sitting in the garage from a different truck. It's like some $300 or $350 or something. Some cheap injectors. Those are in here. They give a little bit more fuel. I got a governor spring kit in my injection pump. This truck came stock with a P pump. That's a very good mod. Stock, your truck starts cutting fuel, I think around like 2200 RPMs, which is pretty low. So it's nice to have, you know, full fuel up to your red line. So I definitely would recommend that. I did put in some different delivery valves. They're stock ones out of a 180 horse motor. They have a little bit better delivery valves. So those are in there. I bought an adjustable elbow for the turbo. It has a little set screw. You can adjust your boost pressure. It's like a little $12 part, but it really helps. That's on here. I got an exhaust temperature gauge that came with the truck when I bought it. So yeah, it's got, you know, injectors and a few tweaks on the injection pump. I did remove my fuel plate. I don't run a fuel plate. So that's your AFC there. I've gone through that and modified it. I might take one apart another time and show you guys what to do there. Basically, you just you modify it a little bit so it gets a little bit more travel. You change the springs in it so that it adds fuel the way you want it to. You can actually, I took a leak tester, if you know what one of those is, for an engine. You know, I put shop air to it. It's basically just the air regulator it has on it, and you can, as you move from 0 to this one, I think goes full fuel at like 20 psi. But you can play with the spring and the pressure and stuff and make the fuel come on the way you want it to. So that's what's been done to the truck. Right now, like I said, I'm working on the exhaust side. I'm getting rid of this 3-inch exhaust downpipe here. That's too small. We need something a little bigger. So I got a 4-inch in the garage that's going to be going on. I got the turbo back here in the bed. I'll show you what I did to it. So this is the turbo here. To do what I did to get more flow out of it, I would recommend taking the turbo apart while still mounted to the truck. When this is bolted up nice and solid to your exhaust manifold, it's a little bit easier to get things out. So what you want to do is you're going to take your V-band clamp off your compressor, you know, your intake tube. Go ahead and take off your oil feed line here, and then there's two 10mm head bolts on the bottom for your drain. Take those off, and then you have these 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you can see, some of these bolts, there's not really room for them to come out. That one and this bottom one down here, you know, if it comes out, it's going to hit. And I actually had a hard time getting one of them out. The bottom one was real hard to get to. I actually had to make my own wrench here. I cut the sides down. I ground this down a little bit so it could slide in there. Once I broke it loose, I cut the sides down here, and this was skinny enough to get in there and loosen it up. So once you get it a little bit loose, I mean, this is still mounted nice and solid to the motor. Once you get these 4 bolts a little bit loose, you can tap this out. You don't want to hit it super hard, but you can tap on it with a hammer a little bit, free it up. When it slides out a little bit, you can back these bolts out a little bit more and get that out of there. Once you do that, it's going to look like this. This is actually, it's bolted up like this in the truck. So I I had a little bit of trouble getting this out too. You just have 4 bolts, it's not a big deal. You got the V-band clamp on the back, like that. The only trouble I had was with this back bolt here. This bolt's kind of like the other one. The housing's kind of closest to the edge of it. It makes it kind of hard to get out. So same thing, I ground this down, broke it loose. Once I broke it loose, I cut the edges off of this. It's skinny enough to get in there and take it out. Now the whole stud came out with it. It's not a big deal. I can screw it right back in the same way. So once you have this piece out, you're gonna have, this is your wastegate actuator, and that goes, let me slide this on here to show you how it's normally. That's normally like this. There's a little E-clip on this pin. You take that off, 3 bolts, this comes right off. Once you have that off, take this back plate off. This is your wastegate. So once you've reached your max boost that you're trying to run, this goes ahead and opens. And you get a lot of flow coming through here. More is better when you're making horsepower. So what I did, I took a 15/16 drill bit. I opened that up a little bit. That's going to let this flow a little bit better. From the factory, this has a divided scroll. So these are your back 3 cylinders. These are your front 3 cylinders. From the factory, your front 3 cylinders do not get wastegate. They have to go through a turbo. That creates a lot of back pressure, a lot of heat, a lot of things you don't want if you're cranking this thing up. So what I did then is I went ahead, I drilled this a little bit into the divider so I can get a nice center mark of the drill bit. And then I took a smaller drill bit. This is a 11/16, and I went through the divider. So now both half of the engine, when this opens, will be ported, and they'll be able to, it'll help my top end, it'll help my EGTs. That's why I took the whole turbo apart, just to do that. So hopefully that helps with the exhaust and everything. My truck already had a 4-inch basically from the downpipe back, so you know you can buy the full turbo back if you're still stock. I only had to get the downpipe because the rest of it was already on this truck. So yeah, that's how you do that. I'm gonna work on some more things today. I'll have upcoming videos on that. What I'm doing today is I'm gonna be pulling the head on this. I have another head. It's already O-ringed. I'll show you what that is when I start doing that. It's basically between the O-rings and the head studs. It makes it so you can't blow your head gasket. You can run, you know, a fair amount of boost. And another thing that's very nice is you can advance the timing of your injection pump. That's basically why I haven't advanced this timing yet, is because it's hard on a stock head gasket. So once I have it sealed up real nice with some nice head studs and everything, I'll go ahead and crank this timing up quite a bit. Try to get some power out of it. I'm also going to be taking apart the front of the motor. That's why I have everything off, the bumper, radiator, all that. I got to put a cam in it, so I got to have room to slide that in. And I'll show you guys how to do all this stuff. That's kind of the whole point of my channel is I see a lot of guys on YouTube, you know, they go out and buy a $100,000 Corvette. You know, they take it to the shop, pay maybe $100 an hour to have it souped up. You know, they probably got, you know, 30-50 grand in mods, and it's too much money, you know, for most of us. I think, I don't think that's really realistic for a lot of us. So I'm gonna try to, on this channel, you know, I'm pretty good at making power. You know, this is a big 7,000 pound truck. It's not going to be a 10-second truck. This is my daily driver. I'm not going to go real crazy, but I'm going to make it pretty healthy. I got a Trans Am here. It's a lot lighter car. I can make that go a lot quicker. And I'm always playing around with stuff. And I was a mechanic, you know, but you don't have to be. You know, if you know how to turn a wrench, you know, I'll show you the things that you might not be comfortable with. I'll take you along and kind of show you how to do everything. I tune my own cars. You know, I'm probably not the best tuner in the world. You know, you could probably spend $600-800 and you know, maybe they could find another 5 horse from, you know, what I did to it. That's fine. You know, I just want it to be safe for the car, have the fuel right. So I mean, if you do all this stuff yourself, this Trans Am I picked up for $1,500. You know, most people, they get a tax check or something, they could afford to have some toys, and it's fun to go fast, you know. So that's why I'm trying to make a channel, you know, for the do-it-yourselfer. I'm working in my driveway. You know, you guys can do this too. You have quick cars for the weekend, something to goof around on the drag strip, whatever you like to do. So I hope you enjoyed my video. There's going to be a lot more cool stuff coming. So subscribe if you like it, If you got any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'll try to answer whatever kind of questions I get. And I'll see you guys next time.